Welcome to everyone to this very requested tutorial about digital storm in Trapcode particular. This is the video that would like to the people, and the people ask me to do a tutorial how I do it, how I reach this incredible, amazing effect with this amazing plugin. And I will explain every step to do it. So be focused. It will be I don't know, a long video, half an hour, and I hope you like it. So the first of all is do a great particle, as always says, as always said. So I search isolated clouds in my browser. Why is this? Because I want white clouds over black background to isolate the particle with a transparent background. I don't want the black background. So the best way to do it is to do a track mate with a luma mate. So I will start by creating a composition called particle cloud, and the composition has 500 for 2 and 250 because we don't need more, and I will put only 10 frames because I want 10 different particles for this effect. So I will drop all the images that I have downloaded to my composition. Again, my English is, I don't know, very rough, so sorry about that, about all the words, the strange words that I'm going to say in this tutorial. Well, one important thing is try to manage the space of the composition, so I will scale a little bit every particle. I have 5 particles, so what I'm gonna do now is duplicate them, put in the 10 spots left, and I will turn around 180 degrees to create the first little variation of the particle. The purpose of this composition is to have 10 different particles, just to have more variation in my particle system. So what I'm going to do now is turn the transparent background, and I will duplicate my layers. I will select the down layers of each one, and I will put Lumamate to isolate the white values of my images. So I will have transparent particles, but in the first attempt to do this, it will be very transparent, so I will duplicate to have a little more of information. So until here I have all the particles isolated. Now I'm going to do something to add more variation to the particles. So I will put in this sort turbulent displays, and I'm gonna animate this effect to have variation in every frame. So I'm gonna adjust the amount, the turbulence, the size a little bit. I'm gonna to animate the evolution. I touch a little bit of the complexity, and I'm gonna animate the evolution. So I have the same particle, but rotate 180 degrees, and with a little bit of turbulence displays, it will have, I don't know, a little bit of variation to our purpose. So I'm done with the pre-comp of the particle. Okay, I will create a new composition to do the storm effect that you want to learn. The composition, it will be just HD for fast purposes, and I will show you the fast way that I can. I will create a solid and I will put the particular plugin. So as we can see, it is working. So I will create a camera. It's very important, the camera, because we have to move around this storm effect. Okay. Well, I will drop the particle in my composition. I will turn up 3D and I will hide it because I don't want to see it. Okay. For this particular effect, we don't need this kind of emitter, a point emitter, because we don't want all the particles spread them out from the point. We want a grid. We want like surface with the particle will be static. So I will put velocity in 0 and all the velocity values in 0. I will increase the size of my surface, so I can have, I don't know, like a table, like a big table. So in the grid emitter, we will put how many particles do you want. So when you increase the particles in each direction, you will be able to see all these kind of grids. Okay, so the next thing I will do is increase the life, because we want that all the grids see all the time. So I will put 100 and I will forget about it. Now when you have this, I will put my custom sprite colorize. In texture, I will put my pre-comp, particle cloud, and in time sampling, I will put random still frame, because I want to take every single frame of my previous composition and put random in space. Okay, I will increase the size, like about to 100 or something like that. Fast preview, yes. We don't want to be here all the afternoon. Okay. And I can move around and you will see that we start to build something. We are going in the right way. Okay, I will decrease the amount of particles just to work faster. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is the camera animation, because when later on we start to create a more complex effect, it will be very rough to work with the camera. So I prefer to do now, while the particle system still be quite simple. So I will animate this, always looking the clouds. I don't want to see any more that my particle system, and I want a traveling, moving back. So my full frame, it always will be the clouds. This is my intention. So this is the movement, the basic movement to show the particle system, and you don't have to worry about anything else but the clouds. Okay. As you can see, I have my basic particle system here. Well, with Alt I will double click in my point of interest and I will add an expression just to add a little bit of randomness in the movement and have like look and feel that you are in the middle of the storm with wind and with rain, and the atmosphere is affecting the camera. So just a little bit to break the robot movement, the automatization. So okay, we keep going with the effect. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do, I will increase the size again, because we are working with the real effect right now. Okay, I will touch a little bit the random size and the opacity, because you want that the particle would be a little transparent, a little bit transparent, and not all the particles be of the same size. So always a little bit of randomness, it will be help to the realism or just to a better effect. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of movement, because this is too static. So I will increase in the turbulence field the turbulence position. I actually love play with these parameters. This is a very interesting feature of the particular, the position. But always you have to tweak every parameter for the for the final effect that you want, because it has a great variety of possibilities. So you have to touch a little bit the scale, the octave multiplier, and the position or the size, just to get what you want. So this is just an example, but I hope you do whatever you want for the best convenience of your project. Okay, this is too stormy, so I will decrease the octave scale to have a better result. Until now, we only are working with the movement, not with the final effect. Okay, I will try increase a little bit. I think I go too far. You have to try out. You have to touch every parameter and see what looks better to your eye. No, it's too much. It's going back to 4. Okay. Well, now we have the movement. So we have the camera, we have our basic particle system, and we have our scene, our basic scene. One of the greatest things that I was looking for when I create this effect, when I see the references, you have to see a lot of references, was this. I will pop up to show you. One nice thing that happens in real life is that every group of clouds in some storms generate like this ambient occlusion, but inverse. So it is very interesting to me. It's like an additive way of behave with the clouds matching together. So as you can see, in the intersection of every cloud is a white value, not a black value. It's like an ambient occlusion, so to speak. So I was creating this effect, and I was wondering, how can I achieve this effect? So this is the important part of this tutorial. The clouds are not important. The important part is that you have to always think out of the box. So you have to grab the tool and manipulate to your purpose. So I'm going to show you one of the secrets of this tutorial. This will be something very easy and silly if you think about, but if you don't think about, it's very I don't know, strange. I will turn on the shading and I will put ambient light just to show you this effect. I have my bunch of particles, and if you increase the ambient, you can see all the grid of particles in space. So I want to use the shadow LED. This is the secret. This is the magic. I will turn it on, and as you can see, you have to touch the parameters to understand what is happening in the scene. So I will increase my ambient to see a little bit more of particles. I can decrease the size of the shadow LED, and I guess I can adjust the distance and, well, all the parameters. But the important thing here is that you have a color in the shadow LED, and all the people assume that the shadow always have to be black, and that is the important thing that I want to share with you. What happens if I take this value and I put them white? Look, magic. So I will turn off my ambient light, and as you can see, I have a way more better result when I just turn on the shadow LED and I put them white. So I'm working with a great feature, but I'm taking to another level. I'm using to my purpose. So I'm getting what I want to get. That is, I don't know, additive intersection between clouds. So I will show you again. When you turn off, you have a kind of creepy clouds, but with this you have a much more realistic effect, and this is at least what I want to achieve. So with this in mind, you have a better particle system, and you start to have like a final effect way more complex than a few minutes before. So then you can adjust all the parameters that you want to create a different scene. This will be revealing or hiding some particles with this white shadow. So when you touch these parameters, you can control a little bit the atmosphere. So we can put the color that we want, always a bright color, to do this amazing effect. And I don't know, I'm seeing this and I'm happy with it. You have a beautiful cloudy sky. It seems to be complex and I don't know, beautiful. And you can turn on the motion blur. When you turn on the motion blur and you increase the shutter angle, you will be creating I don't know, a better surface, because you have separate particles. But with the motion blur, or with the motion blur, all is more like I don't know how to say in English. like one, like from the same space. I don't know how to say it. You understand well. Okay, I will turn off just to keep showing all the effects. Okay, what's next? Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is the thunder. Lots of people write me in my inbox to ask me this, how to do the thunder, to share with me techniques, and I say we don't have to create a complex effect. We just want the result. So I will show you the best way, a ridiculous easy way to do it, to do the thunders, because all we want is a result. We don't want complex techniques for each thing. Some things require a technical knowledge, but others are just simple. You have the thing always out of the box. So I will create a solid with a mask with a little bit of feather to have light in the center and fade out in the borders, and I will animate the opacity just to create a temporal thunder. You see a light in the sky. It has a little bit of blinking, and I will create something of that. I will add a few keys with a variation of opacity, just to understand how the light behaves in time. You can do whatever you want here. I will do just an example to show you the final effect. Okay, you have something that comes and goes and turns on and off like thunder. Okay. The next thing I will gonna do with this simple layer, I will turn 3D, so I can now I can place in the 3D position that I want with my actual animation. So this is the first step. I will put this animation in the 3D space, just to share the movement of the camera with my particle system, because we want to all the thunders will be in a 3D position. So put a light or something like that is too complicated for this, for me at least. So I will put these solids like facing to camera in the 3D position that I want. I will overlap in time a few, just to have a complex result. But this is the basic thing that you have to know. I will do a little bit bigger, ones a little bit smaller, and the animation in space will be all given by our camera. So we have this, we have the animation of the thunders. Okay, so here's the second part of this stupidly easy way to do it. I will duplicate my camera. You do whatever you want. You can script the link of the camera, whatever you want, and I will pre-compose, and I will put thunder easy way. Okay, I will create my pre-comp, and here is the other secret. I will go to the blending mode, and I will put overlay Oh yeah, our friend the overlay blending mode. Okay, so as you can see, it will be start to acting. I will triplicate just to you to see. We have a little problem with the wiggle, so I will do inside of my pre-comp. But the important thing is that you have a transparent background and just solid with white information. So the overlay will act as a, I don't know, in his way, but just touching the white values, not the black values. So you have the same animation, you have the thunders in the 3D space, and with a ridiculous fast and easy way to do it. So you can later on understand your pre-comp and touch wherever you want. But that's it. I want a fast and easy result, a great result, and you have it. It's very fun to try out these kind of things. You have to think in what you want, how to reach it, and how tools are the best for you. So for the storm, the particular was the best tool for me, and for the thunders, just solid in 3D space. So you have to think a little bit out of the box, and it will be nicer and easier work with everything. So just to finish this scene, I will create a rain, because in the test that I've developed before, I wasn't work with the rain. So here it is. We create a box with the same size of the grid. In the particle, I will decrease the size of the particle. I want to rain, so it will be a little bit of velocity. It will be okay to have a little bit of randomness, of initial randomness. Okay, I will increase the gravity a lot, because we are traveling fast in this atmosphere. I want you to see that the particles of the rain are falling. I will increase the amount of particles in this rain. And I will add, as always, a little bit of turbulence position. I love this parameter. I will touch every time, and I will put on in the motion blur, just to see not spheres. I want to see more like lines or something like that. You can do with the aux system, or you can do like this with the inner motion blur, with the shutter angle for the length of the line, and the way with the opacity boost for see better the particle. Then I don't want to see where the particles are coming from, so I will go to my particle editor, and in the opacity overlay I will generate ascending line, so it will be zero opacity in the beginning of the emitter, and it will be increasing the opacity in the length of the life. I will change a little bit of color. You have to think that all this effect will be in movement, so it has to be something subtle, not to I don't know, to lead in my composition. It's something like French fries in a mistake. Okay. I will increase this, a little bit of randomness. I never speak so many times in another language, so it's very it's very strange to me. But I hope you understand what I'm saying, what I say all this tutorial. Okay, with this option you can tweak a little bit the look, but I think something like this. But it's when you put, for example, you can see the little spheres, but sometimes for the camera is a better result, but for this particular example I don't think so. Okay, so there you have it. You have a nice sharp storm, a little bit of rain, a little bit of thunders. I will put the rain under thunders, so the overlays of the thunders can add more light in my rain. So after this, the only thing that you have left is to add a little bit of look to your scene. So I will create an adjustment layer. You can put wherever you want, the magic bullet looks or or Sapphire plugins or whatever you want. I will start to put a little bit of levels to add contrast to my scene. Then I will create a vignette to add a little bit of drama to my scene, with an inverse mask and a little bit of filler. You have it. And final, but not less important, I will add a little bit of chromatic aberration and lens distortion, just aesthetical purposes, as always. Now I will leave the lens distortion. Okay, so you can touch the parameters as you want. I will touch a little bit this. We have a little bit of diffraction in my lens. So I'm done. Okay, and this will be my result. Well, thank you very much for being with me all this time, for sharing this, for watching this tutorial, for being supportive with the things that I'm doing, and I hope to see you soon. Hope you like it, and my name is Ramiro Fernandez. Thank you very much.